All right, so today we're gonna we're diving into some pretty heavy stuff.
Yeah.
We're gonna be talking about Naam
Okay.
as a spiritual path, and we're gonna be using the teachings of Saint Kirpal Singh to kind of guide us along.
Right.
Specifically, we're looking at his book Naam, or the Word, and one of the things I found really fascinating in this book was this parable of a bird called the Anul Vogel.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a powerful image, that's for sure.
It's such a strange bird.
It's definitely not your average bird, that's for sure.
But before we get to our feathered friend, I think maybe we need to back up a little.
Sure.
Because I have to admit, I was a little confused reading this book at first.
Oh, yeah.
What exactly is Naam? Because he uses so many different terms, right? We've got Shabdi.
Right.
We've got Alakbani. He even uses the phrase, the music of the Gensites at one point.
Yeah, it can feel like a lot. You're right. It's this huge concept.
It's huge.
That's almost too big to even wrap your head around at first.
Yeah.
But maybe a good way to think about it is like, imagine a force like gravity.
Okay.
We can't see it, but we know it's there.
Right.
Holding everything together.
Yeah.
Naam is similar in that it's a fundamental force.
Okay.
But instead of working on like a physical level, it operates on a spiritual one.
So instead of holding the earth together, it's holding souls together or something like that.
In a way,
yeah.
You could think of it like that. Yeah, it's this underlying energy that connects everything on a spiritual level.
Okay. So it's this force, but how does it connect to us? How does it connect to our daily lives?
That's where it gets really interesting. Think about electricity for a second.
Okay.
Electricity is a form of energy, right?
Right.
But you need a wire, a conduit, to actually channel that energy, to make it usable.
Okay.
Naam is similar in that it's this divine energy, this power.
Okay.
But it needs a connection to flow into our lives.
So just as electricity needs a wire, we need to consciously connect with Naam to experience its power.
That's a great way to put it, yeah. And that's where this idea of a spiritual journey comes in.
Okay.
Which brings us back to our friend, the Anul Vogel.
Yeah, let's talk about this bird.
Right.
Because this bird is unlike any bird I've ever heard of. I mean, it's born in the heavens.
Right.
It lives off the air.
Yeah.
It lays its eggs in midair. It's incredible.
It defies all the normal rules.
Yeah.
And I think Kirpal Singh did that on purpose.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he wanted to shake things up a little bit, make us think differently. You see, the Anul Vogel's existence is kind of precarious, you know, always searching for something solid, somewhere to land. And in a way, it mirrors our own souls.
Okay.
Always searching for that truth, that place where we truly belong.
That's interesting. I never thought about it like that. But it makes sense. You have this bird that's kind of living in this in-between space.
Exactly.
Always looking for somewhere to land. It's a cool image.
Yeah. And what happens next is even more telling.
What's that?
So this Anul Vogel, right, it eventually realizes that Earth, even though it seems solid, isn't its real home.
Okay.
It begins to long for its origin, for the heavens.
That's a pretty deep realization for a bird to have.
It is, right. But that's the whole point. I mean, how many of us feel that same yearning deep down? This feeling that there's something more to life, that we're not meant to be tethered to this material world forever. The Anul Vogel, as strange as it seems, embodies that very human longing for our true home.
It's like we're all Anul Vogels in a way, searching for that place where we truly belong.
Exactly. And Kirpal Singh gives us a name for that place, Sachkhand.
Oh, right, Sachkhand. He describes it as the true realm.
Yes. It's that spiritual home, that state of pure truth and bliss. It's what the Anul Vogel is instinctively drawn to.
So if this bird, this Anul Vogel, represents us, you know, our soul's yearning, how does Naam fit into all of this?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And that's what we're going to dive into next.
So how do we find that million-dollar answer? How do we connect with this name?
Well, that's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Kirpal Singh talks about the importance of a Satguru.
Oh, right, a Sadguru, a spiritual guide.
Exactly.
So it's like having a guide to help you navigate this spiritual path, this journey back to Sachkhand.
Yeah. Think of it like you're trying to tune a guitar.
Okay.
You could fiddle around with the pegs all day, but if you don't know what you're doing,
right,
you're probably not going to get very far.
Yeah, you'll probably just break a string.
Exactly. A Satguru is like having a professional tuner right there with you. They don't tune the guitar for you.
Okay.
But they show you how to do it yourself.
So it's about learning, about receiving guidance.
It's about guidance, yeah, but also practice. It's like you wouldn't expect to become a concert pianist overnight, right?
Right. Takes years of practice.
Exactly. It's the same with connecting with Naam. It's an ongoing process, an inner transformation that takes time and dedication.
So what does that actually look like in practice? What are we actually doing?
Well, a lot of it comes back to this idea of the essential shabd.
Right, the essential shabd. We talked about that a bit earlier, but I have to admit it still feels a bit mysterious.
It is mysterious. It's not something you can just look up in a dictionary.
Oh, right.
It's not a word you hear with your physical ears. It's more like a vibration, a sound current that you perceive on a much deeper level.
Okay, so it's an inner experience, not an outer one.
Exactly. And that's where the Sadhguru comes in. They help you tune into that frequency to perceive that inner sound.
So are we talking about meditation techniques, breathing exercises? What kind of things does a Sadhguru actually do to help with this?
It can vary.
Yeah.
Every Sadhguru has their own approach. But the key thing is that they're able to meet you where you are on your journey and guide you from there.
Okay, so it's a very personalized approach.
It has to be. Because we all have different baggage, different things we're carrying with us.
Different obstacles to overcome.
Exactly.
This is reminding me of something else from the text. Kirpal Singh talks about how people can spend their whole lives performing rituals, going to holy places,
right,
but still miss the point entirely.
It's true. It's like going to a concert hall and spending the whole time admiring the architecture.
All right.
But never actually listening to the music.
It's funny how those external things can be so distracting sometimes.
They can be. It's as easy to get caught up in the form and lose sight of the essence.
So how do we prevent that from happening? How do we stay focused on the essence, on actually connecting with the Naam?
That's where the inner work comes in. It's about cultivating that awareness, that inner stillness, where you're able to tune out the noise of the world and listen to that subtle inner sound current.
So it's about going deeper, beyond the surface level.
Exactly. And that's a journey we all have to take for ourselves. With the right guidance, of course.
It's interesting, though, because even though we're talking about this very personal experience, this inner journey, there's also this sense of a bigger picture, right?
What do you mean?
Well, if we're all trying to connect with this Naam, this universal force, doesn't that suggest a kind of interconnectedness between everyone? We're all part of something much bigger.
Now you're getting to the heart of it.
No way.
That's what we're going to explore next. This idea that connecting with Naam isn't just about individual salvation. It's about recognizing our interconnectedness with all beings.
Now, that's a conversation I'm really looking forward to. So we're all connected, all part of this grand cosmic web, all thanks to Naam. I mean, that's a pretty amazing thought when you really sit with it.
It is, and it's something Kirpal Singh comes back to again and again in his writings. This idea that true spiritual awakening isn't just about personal enlightenment, but about recognizing our interconnectedness with everything and everyone around us.
So it's not just about me and my journey. It's about a bigger picture.
Exactly. We're not isolated individuals, but part of something much vaster, much more interconnected than we often realize.
And Naam is the key to unlocking that realization.
You could say that. Naam is often described as this unifying force, this energy that flows through all of creation.
Okay. But if that's the case, if this name is available to everyone, then why do we need a Sadhguru? I mean, shouldn't we be able to just tap into this universal energy on our own?
Well, in theory, yes. Naam is always there, always available. But it's imagine you're trying to find a specific radio station.
Yeah.
You know it's out there broadcasting, but you might have to fiddle with the dial for a bit to find the right frequency.
And a Sadhguru is our guide to help us find that right frequency.
Exactly. They've already tuned into that station, so to speak. They know how to help us clear away the static, the distractions that are preventing us from connecting with that clear signal.
So it's not that we can't connect with Naam on our own. It's just that it's a lot harder to do without guidance.
Exactly. And remember, we talked about how the essential shabd is beyond words.
Yeah.
Beyond our usual ways of understanding.
Right.
Well, a Sadhguru can guide us to that experience, help us go beyond our limited intellect, and actually experience this truth directly.
Okay, that makes sense. It's I can read all about the ocean in a book, but to really know what it's like, I need to actually get in the water.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A Sadhguru is like that experienced swimmer who can show us the ropes, teach us how to navigate those waters.
This has been, wow, it's been a journey just having this conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if someone is listening to us right now and they're feeling drawn to this idea of Naam, this path back to our true home, what would you say is the first step they should take?
Honestly, I think the first step is the simplest, but often the hardest. Just acknowledging that yearning you feel, that pull towards something more. Because that yearning is the starting point. It's the Anul Vogel realizing that Earth isn't its true home.
It's that feeling that there has to be more to life than what we're seeing.
Exactly. And once you acknowledge that yearning, once you start listening to that inner voice, the path will start to reveal itself. It might be through meditation, through connecting with nature, through seeking out a spiritual teacher.
The important thing is to just start, right?
Yes, start where you are with what you have and trust that the journey itself will guide you.
This has been an incredible conversation. Thank you so much for diving into this with me. And to our listeners, we hope this has sparked some curiosity, some inspiration to embark on your own exploration of Naam and this amazing parable of the Anul Vogel. Until next time, keep seeking and keep listening.